6 months later, Roger sat in a booth, twisting an engagement ring in his hands. He was going to propose to Mimi that night. He loved her and hoped that she loved him, too.
Okay, so when did this happen? 6 months go by and bang, Roger and Mimi are just in love? Come on, author. Show this to us. Show us their courtship. Look, they each have a kid. Dating isn't going to be easy for either one of them. Show them getting to know each other. Show them spending quality time together. Show them arguing. Show them falling in love. Show being the key word here.
Towards the middle of dinner, a strolling violinist came over to the table. Roger whispered something in his ear, making the violinist smile. He put his bow to the violin and began playing Bella Not, Mimi's favorite song.
For reference, Bella Nota is the song that plays in Lady and the Tramp, where the two dogs are eating spaghetti. Some people find it romantic. I personally don't. You know, it's not particularly romantic when my dog eats dog food, and it sure as hell isn't when he eats people food. I mean, oh, damn it, Poopykins! That is people food! People food for people! That dog. So anyway, on with the story.
Marissa Serena Marquez, will you marry me? Roger asked, placing the band around her finger. Mimi nodded, tears in her eyes. Roger kissed her passionately from across the table.
It's so romantic. And we finally learn Mimi's last name, too. It's so romantic.
The wedding was small, only 40 guests. Roger's brother, Evan, served as best man and Mimi's best friend from high school, Eve, served as her maid of honor. Alan and Eric were the flower girl and ring bearer.
I'm sure it was a lovely ceremony. God, if only the author had bothered to, I don't know, show it to us. I have to pause now and wonder where the rest of the characters from Rent are. I mean, in Rent, Roger's basically estranged from his family, so wouldn't his best man be his roommate Mark? Or Collins, that philosophical pothead they all hang out with? And Mimi's just as isolated from her family as Roger is, if not more so. I think it was always implied that she was like a runaway or something. Look, I'm sure that the ladies of Rent, Maureen, Joanne, or that tranny they were always hanging out with, they would have made excellent maids of honor. Anyway, Roger and Mimi go on a honeymoon.
Roger and Mimi decided to bring Alan and Eric with them on their honeymoon to Hawaii. Now our family is complete, Roger said as the two of them put Alan and Eric to bed. Mimi nodded in agreement, kissing Alan's forehead.
Oh, come on, author. How cliché can you be? Add some conflict. Make it interesting. These are small children at a Hawaiian resort. Everyone knows that children love to misbehave when they're on vacation. Look, it's common knowledge. Children are always 10 times brattier when they're on vacation. Look, just have something interesting happen. Give us some conflict. Ugh, this is so boring. Also, how could they afford to go to Hawaii?
Without even trying, Mimi and Roger welcomed twins, a boy and a girl, into the world a year later. Mimi named the little girl Ava Maria and Roger named his son Marcus Anthony after his best friend Mark. Roger felt he couldn't be happier with his perfect family. He had his girls, Alan, Ava and Mimi, and his sons, Eric and Marcus.
Well, we've mentioned Mark, I guess. Ugh, so bored.
The 6 of them moved into a house just outside the city, where they continue to reside today.
Okay, so it's over. And I'm going to take the time to point out that Rent is all about living in the city, in an apartment, where you have to pay rent. It's about being artistic and not conforming. It's not about getting married, pumping out kids, and moving to the fucking suburbs. This story gets an F. It was bland and uninteresting and very, very cliche. There are several scenes that could have been made interesting, but the author managed to make them really boring. I never thought that someone dying in childbirth could be boring, but this author has made it so. And this author has also defied canon in so many ways. Look, I'm not a huge fan of Rent, but the characters are at least somewhat well developed. They have problems like drug addiction and AIDS, and problems were missing from this story. Come on, author. In the musical, Roger is a recovering drug addict with AIDS, and Mimi is a drug-addicted stripper with AIDS. The key words there being drug, addiction, and AIDS. The drugs and disease were what defined these characters. It was what drove them. Come on, author. You can't just take that away. Oh, and remember that note in the beginning about song lyrics and flashbacks and thoughts being in italics? Yeah, the author just sort of forgot to include those. You can't just say you'll put something in your story and then go back on your word. Well, I'm the FanFiction Critic, and this is what you do with a BA in English. Team America, play me out.
And so this is the end of our story. And everyone is dead from AIDS. It took from me my best friend, my only true pal, my only bright star. Well, I'm gonna march on Washington, lead the fight and charge the brigades. There's a hero inside of all of us. I'll make them see everyone has AIDS. My father, AIDS. My sister, AIDS.